Today is November 8th, 1998. The survivor being interviewed is Miriam Rubin. The interviewer is Sandra Savitz-Gruenberg. The interview is taking place in Bronx, New York, and the language of the interview will be in English and sign language. Today is November 8th, 1998. My name is Sandra Savitz-Gruenberg, and I'm interviewing survivor Miriam Rubin, who's the woman sitting to my right. The interview is taking place in Bronx, New York, and the language of the interview will be in English and sign language, and Rose Russo is the signer who is sitting to my left. What's your name?
My name is Miriam Rubin.
And when were you born?
I was born in Jerusalem. When I was born on the 12th, December 17th, 1912.
And what was your, how old,
1912, December 17th.
how old are you today?
I'd like to say I'm 25 years old.
But how old are you?
That's the truth. I'll be 86 this December.
What was your mother's name?
Ida. My mother's name is Ida Gottlieb.
Where was she born?
She was born in Austria.
And where did your family live?
They live right here in New York. In New York. What do you mean? In New York.
Where did they live when you were born?
In Jerusalem. In Jerusalem.
And what memories do you have of your mother from your time in Jerusalem?
I remember living with my family. But specifically your mother. I really never liked my mother at all. We didn't have a good relationship.
Can you tell me one memory that you have of her from that time?
Always hitting me. Mommy. That's what I remember my mother. She was always hitting me.
How about your father?
My mother always hit him. Maybe I was a bad girl when I was little. I don't know. That's what I remember about my mother. Irving Gottlieb.
And where was he born?
He was born in Hungary.
And why did they come to Palestine?
My father grew up wanting to go to Jerusalem someday. It was like a dream come true for him to finally be able to live there.
And what did he do there? What was his job?
He was a rabbi.
And what's your fondest memory of your father as a child?
I missed my family for so many years. I was in Europe without them. I didn't see much with my family for many years. I was in the camp and didn't see them much. And when I came to America, I left my mother for only 2.5 years, and then I got married.
What were her siblings' names?
I'm the oldest of the family. What's their names? Helen, Anne, G.E., Gertie, and my brother is Ben. My last sister is Evelyn, and she lives in Florida.
Okay. And can you remember any fun thing that you and your siblings did together in Jerusalem?
Yeah. I really didn't see them much. There were so many years I was without them. I don't really remember being with them much. When I came to America, my sisters were already married. They were already married and had their lives. I never saw them much.
What language did she speak in her house?
When I arrived from Europe, I spoke German and some Jewish, Yiddish. Yes, Yiddish, yes, Yiddish.
In Jerusalem, what language did they speak?
I spoke German. I always spoke German until I came to America, and then I learned English.
And what was her favorite holiday as a child?
I don't know. I was mostly sad growing up. I don't remember favorite holiday. I was in Europe. I was in the concentration camps with my relatives. I lived. I was always sad. I don't remember a happy holiday.
And what kind of schooling did she have in Jerusalem?
You went to school what? I learned to speak and write and German, art. We took art and knitting. I'm a good dancer. Ballet. Ballet. I was very good at ballet when I was little.
Was it a school for deaf children?
Yes. Yes, school for deaf children.
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
And did she have friends in school?
Oh, at that time. Did you have friends? Oh, yeah.
But it's far from Poland.
But everyone was far, from Poland, from Hungary. They were all from all different places. Most of them were from Poland.
Were they all Jewish children?
Of course. Yes, it was a Jewish school. Oh, it was kosher. It was a kosher school, and of course they were all Jewish.
Do you remember any of your neighbors in Jerusalem?
The people who live in the area. Yeah. No. I was such a little girl. I don't remember. I lived for a few years with them. My father came here alone, and my mother sent me to the school. I don't remember much about living with them.
What does she remember of her leaving Palestine?
When I left Jerusalem? Yeah. What do you remember about leaving? I left there to go to the school for the deaf in Austria.
Okay, but the first school, she went to a school in Jerusalem?
For the deaf, yes.
Yeah, okay. And what does she remember her mother telling her about why they were sending her to Austria?
Oh, my mother said I needed to learn to speak. I had to learn to speak because I didn't speak yet, and that's why I had to go to school. And I had to learn how to speak and write, and that's why I was going to school for the deaf.
And when did her mother tell her that the rest of the family would be leaving and going to America?
I never knew. I knew that my father came here alone. Then they sent me to school for the deaf in Austria. And then my mother came to America with the 3 children. You didn't know? I was surprised later to find out that they'd moved. I didn't know that they were coming. They were coming here to meet my father.
And how did she feel about being separated from them?
But I felt bad. Of course, I was sad. They were far away from me, and I was left with my relatives.
Has she been deaf? Have you been deaf your whole life?
No, I was not born deaf. I was 2 years old. I could hear. I got sick. I had the measles, and I became deaf at 2 years old.
And did her mother give her any instructions before she sent her to Vienna?
No, it's just we talked about school. At that time, Jerusalem didn't have a school for the deaf. So my mother sent me to school in Austria for the deaf. So there were many people, like me, that were deaf from Israel from Jerusalem going to Austria.
Okay, so
There were 4 or 5 deaf from Israel going with me at the same time when I went. Some were older, some were younger.
So the school that you were talking about that was kosher was in Austria and not in Jerusalem.
Right, in Austria. Yeah. Vienna, in Austria.
Okay. And how did she get to Austria?
Take a boat. A boat with a man from Jerusalem with me. My mother couldn't come with me. A man came with me and took me on the ship to the school for the deaf. I don't know who that man is. I don't remember his name.
How long was the journey?
Oh, I don't remember. It was long. I remember it was very long. I was very little.
How old?
I guess 10 years old or less, I was late for school because there was no school for the deaf in Jerusalem. I was very late going to school. I told Mommy so many times, I need to go to school. And Mommy said, okay, you go to school. I want to go the same as my sisters, but I can't because I'm deaf. It was very late.
And who met you when you arrived?
Right. What do you mean, where?
In Austria, in Vienna.
Just children, all the other deaf children, teachers, the supervisor.
And did you have any contact with children outside of the school?
In the school, I played with the children, that's all.
And did you receive any letters from America? From her family?
From your family. Did they mail me letters? No. When your mom and dad lived in America, did they mail to you? No. Yugoslavia. My uncle is the one who contacted me at the school. He visited me at school from Yugoslavia. Not my parents. I didn't have contact with them.
What were her friends like there?
Good. I don't know. They were small. We were little. The blue goes down. They all moved far away. I never saw them again. I don't know.
Okay. And did they celebrate Jewish holidays?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After we went to temple, we were in the temple place and we prayed.
What was your favorite Jewish holiday in the school?
Nothing really. I don't really think of anything that stands out.
What was your favorite subject?
Whatever. Play. Sports was my favorite. I played sports all the time. Played tennis. We run. Ballet. Those things. Those are my favorite.
What were your teachers like?
Very nice. All the teachers were Jewish. Several now, but most were Jewish.
And did they ever talk about politics?
Just since we were learning school things, we didn't talk about, politics. No.
How long did you stay in this school?
Hello. 4 years. And the school closed down. There was no money, so the school had to close.
And what happened to you then?
I went to with my uncle. It's on the paper there, the name of the town. I don't know it's on the name of the. You have it? I went to live with my uncle, my father's oldest brother.
Where did he live?
It's on the paper there. She doesn't know the spelling. Oh, what country? Was that in Yugoslavia? Not in Yugoslavia. Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia.
And during this time period, during the 4 years she was there, did she ever hear from her family in America?
They maybe wrote a letter, not often though, not much. Not too often.
How did she get to Czechoslovakia?
How did you get there? By train. They took a train.
And how did she feel about going?
Well, excuse going. I was happy to see my uncle. I hadn't seen any relatives since I was in school. Many children visited. They used to have visitors at school, and they bring, family would bring food, and I didn't have any. My father and mother left already, and all my relatives were far. I had no relatives in Austria, so I was happy.
And when she went to live with them, how many children did they have?
Oh my. About 12 children, I think. Wait, let me think. 1, 2, 3. Matilda, different names. 10 children, I guess. About 10 children.
What was your uncle's name?
2 or 3 children had died young, when they were babies. So I think there were 10 that we were living with. And some live in Jerusalem. You mean now? Some of them still live in Jerusalem. I had one cousin that was with me in the concentration camp. She lives in Jerusalem. And I don't know their addresses. We forget each other. Your uncle's name? Yeah. Herman. And your aunt's name? Bail? B-A-I-L? It's a different name. I never heard that name before. B-A-I-L. B-A-I-L. No, just Val. B-A-I-L. We never heard that name before. Same as, other people said to me, that's a strange name. I don't know that name.
Did you enjoy living there?
It was okay. It was okay. I was sad. I wanted to be with my parents. They were far from us. My brothers and sisters, I was never seeing them. That's why I was very sad. And in my life, there was a lot of sadness.
What did she do as a job when she went there?
That's your uncle's? My uncle's work. He was a tailor. He worked. He made clothes. He was a tailor. Yeah, he made men's shirts, pajamas, like slacks, menswear. He worked in their home.
And she helped him.
And you helped him
out?
Yeah, I sewed some. I helped him sew, kept the house clean.
And were they observant also, religious?
Okay. Oh, Jewish. Oh, yes. Very. They had the beards, and with the those big hats, the long coats. Oh, yes. Very.
What was Shabbos
All the
like?
talk, all the talk,
All the, I don't know what you call these. The sidewalk. What you asking?
What was the Sabbath like in the house?
What's it like? Oh. Sabbath was forbidden to put the lights on, forbidden to cook. You had to prepare Friday to eat on Saturday. There was no cooking on Saturday. You couldn't use the fire, nothing. We went to temple and home and praying all day.
Was she aware of Hitler's rise?
Did you?
No,
I didn't know. I know many soldiers. I saw soldiers everywhere. But I don't know. I didn't know what was happening. I was afraid of the soldiers. I'd see them. I'd be afraid of them. But I didn't know what was happening. I can't really look around and ask questions. It's, it was a scary time. I was very afraid. It was very dangerous.
What kinds of soldiers does she remember?
Gun exchanges. One soldier I remember was a very nice man. Where I worked on an assembly line at that time, and he was a nice man. He knew that I was deaf. This is much later. He would bring me into, he would take me food. He would, secretly give me food. That's later, right? That's later.
That wasn't in Czechoslovakia.
That was not Czechoslovakia, right? In Czechoslovakia, what kind of soldiers do you remember there when you were younger? Wait. But before, when you were in Czechoslovakia with your uncle and your aunt, what kind of soldiers were there? Oh, it was in Yugoslavia where the soldiers. Oh, okay. That was after, when I was in Auschwitz and all, then that's where I met.
And when she lived in Czechoslovakia with her uncle, does she remember any kind of anti-Semitism? Any?
No. In Yugoslavia, there was a lot of anti-Semitism there. And when I went to Auschwitz from there.
And did she have any problems living with that uncle in Czechoslovakia because she was deaf?
Problem there.
No,
I spoke very good German. I spoke very good German. And you lip read very well. And I lip read very well at that time.
When did they decide that it was time for her to leave Czechoslovakia?
When? Czechoslovakia. When did I leave Czechoslovakia?
I don't
know, it was 40, 39. I don't know when I left. And when I did leave, I left to live with my uncle in Yugoslavia, but I don't remember the time exactly. I lived with him for 6 years, with my uncle in Czechoslovakia. 42? Yeah, about 42, 41. I'm trying to think. What, 32? No. That had to be in the 40s. 42. 42, 43. I don't remember exactly, but it's on the paper.
And did the rest of her family leave also, or did she leave alone?
Yeah, but when you left, with my aunt. My aunt from Yugoslavia had come to visit my uncle, and my aunt wanted to come take me to Yugoslavia with her. My aunt had come to visit in Czechoslovakia, and then the two of them went to Yugoslavia. She took me with her to Yugoslavia.
Why did her aunt want her to go with her?
Why? She wanted me. These were my father's two brothers, and she thought it was fair to have her for some time. That was fair. That's my father's brother, so that was fair.
Did your aunt and uncle in Czechoslovakia give you any instructions or any advice when you left?
Right. But when the last time, no, they never said, didn't say anything, just bye-bye. They were happy I was going to live in Yugoslavia. And my uncle there in Yugoslavia was very wealthy. And he had his own business, he had a factory. So they were happy for me to be going there.
And how did she and her aunt, how did you and your aunt get there?
From Czechoslovakia. Train. Took the train. There was also close. Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Yugoslavia right there. You take the train.
Did you experience any problem being because you were Jewish on the journey?
Train. On the way from Czechoslovakia. No, it was before. It wasn't so bad yet. It wasn't so bad. It was worse later.
And when she came to live, when you came to Yugoslavia, what kind of a household did your uncle have? What was the house like?
A small farm. My uncle had a beautiful home and a big factory. And many people worked there. My uncle, after Hitler came, the people that worked there hated the Jews. They started hating the Jews after that. The people that worked in that factory. All the workers were not Jewish, they were Catholic.
And what was your uncle's name?
Emil Gottlieb.
And what was your aunt's name?
Hilda Gottlieb.
Did they have children?
My uncle Emil, his first wife died, and they had one daughter. And she died from, the wife died of childbirth. He married the second wife, and she had a son.
And what was the name of the town in which they lived?
In Yugoslavia? B-A-C-K-P-S-T. I can't. It's in the paper there. I don't know. It's just showing
And there, what was their household like? Was it religious?
Yes. S-E-R-B. Serb? Serb people, like, mostly Catholic. In Yugoslavia, you call them Serb. S-E-R.
But what were your uncle and aunt religious?
Oh, of course. Oh, my father's family is very religious. And my grandfather was a rabbi also. My father's a rabbi. My father's family is very religious. Of course. I was from a good kosher, Jewish kosher home. When I married my husband, I wanted kosher food. My husband said no, so it's gotten all mixed since, but I grew up very kosher.
This is
Yeah, when you live, you change.
This is the end of tape number 1.
Okay.